जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher, wishing everyone a very happy Holi. I hope you'll have lots of color on your face. You'll have had a very good day, and we're very happy to see you all at 7 o'clock here to watch Cricbuzz Live. And because it's Holi, I'm going to use the word color 43 times today. That's what I've been told to do. Adding color to today's day is the wonderful Lisa Sthalekar back in the studio along with Simon. Welcome, Lisa. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Always nice to come back to the Cricbuzz family and to see you guys and talk about the IPL.
You know, Lisa, we have shifted studios only because you came.
Great.
To make you feel at home, because they made Simon and us feel a little different. They sent us down to the Hindi studio. But now it feels...
How was his Hindi, by the way?
He, I think, has been shifted back up after his performance.
Exactly, yeah. It was... not very good. Not very good at all. But happy Holi to everybody as well. Thora India.
बढ़िया है आपका हिंदी, साइमन. बढ़िया.
बढ़िया.
तो क्योंकि आज होली है, ये आज शो सिर्फ हिंदी में होगा.
Nee.
All right, guys. So because Lisa is here, we have to start with a little rapid fire, just to get things heated up a little bit. So I want you all, tell me who wants to go first.
The ladies first.
The lady first,
obviously.
then.
Ladies
Oh,
first.
thank you.
Always.
All right, Lisa. So you need to just quickly tell me the most colourful match for you so far.
I'm going to go Jaipur because it was in pink. Pink
smart,
City.
smart
And I've
one.
just come back from there. Beautiful colours.
Okay,
Galore.
so for you?
Last night's game, colourful for many reasons with the Hardik and the Rohit and the Gujarat thing. So very colourful, I think, all around last night, and good from Gujarat as well to get over the line.
Your most colourful batter. Let's go with you first, Simon.
Oh, Sanju Samson.
Beautiful knock.
Yep, fantastic knock. Captain's innings, again, pink, colourful. No problem with that.
Klassen, what he was able to do. Seriously, what, 60
If only,
off?
If only, just
60 off
waited
3
back.
overs and they lose by the smallest margin.
Yeah. Well, the most colourful moment then.
Moment.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that one, but there were quite a few ones.
Well, actually, I'd have to say the boos for Hardik Pandya.
Ooh.
I wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
I kind of was. I kind of was. I mean, I know you don't see it very often, and you don't hear it very often in this country because they are so passionate for their players for cricket. But I sort of thought, I wondered whether it might happen, and it did. They did not let me down. Actually, I thought that was very colourful. In some ways, a lot of people think it's warranted. What I'm waiting for is the reception he gets at Mumbai. That's the one I'm waiting for, because there are so many Rohit Sharma fans who are disgruntled.
All right, then the most colourful bowler for you, Simon.
Oh, most colourful bowler. Jeepers Bumrah. Bumrah from last night. He was unbelievable. You love to watch him bowl. You love to watch him do what he does. And if he continues in that form and they can get some backup, they won't be losing too many more games, I don't think.
Yeah, I'd go Bumrah. The other one, just for the sake of it, Spencer Johnson, because what he was able to do, I think he got hit for a 6 and then came back, picked up 2 wickets. It was a colourful over.
I might tell you all that the Cricbuzz office is not going to be happy that none of you all have spoken about Rana and what he did for KKR. But, well, there are quite a few KKR fans in the office, so let's stick to what Bumrah has done and what Spencer Johnson did. There have been a whole lot of new captains that have come in this season, 6 of them to be precise. So the most colourful captain for you so far, Lisa?
I'm going to say Pat Cummins because of his shirt. What is Hyderabad thinking?
Who has designed that rubbish?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it is the worst kit in the tournament, bar none. And Kolkata's not much better with that
Ash on the
thing they've got on their pants. I don't know what that's about, but I mean, Hyderabad looks so mismatched and mishmash and no.
Well,
I'm not having it.
RCB's got a whole lot of colours going in their New Jersey as well, like a whole lot of colours.
RCB, Punjab and Delhi have always got very, very similar colour. They just sort of copy each other, don't they? All and none of them can win. So.
Well, the Aussie's gone for Cummins, but who's it going to be for you?
For colourful captain. I'd just go with Sanju again. I think, we know how good he starts the tournaments. We need him to, or Rajasthan need him to continue on that form. But he was colourful, he was charismatic and just a pleasure to watch again.
Well, guys, I want to ask you all because it's a very auspicious day today. Holi is supposed to be a very auspicious day. And on this auspicious day, all RCB fans, I think, want to know from both of you all is what is RCB going to do to kind of get rid of this jinx that they have at the Chinnaswamy? Because since 2016, Lisa, they have not made it to the playoffs every time Chinnaswamy has been their home ground.
Yeah, because we know Chinnaswamy is a bowler's nightmare. I think it's the most out of every IPL ground. 9.5 runs and over is leaked. So you have to try, and I know Bengaluru is trying to kind of out-bat everyone, but you've got to actually find some bowlers that can actually find the right lengths, bowl at the death when the ball is literally flying around. It is tough, but they've got to find a bowling group that can figure it out.
But Simon, funnily to what Lisa is saying, Mike Hesson, who was with RCB earlier, said that however good the bowling attack is going to be, when you come to a Chinnaswamy, you're going to go 200 plus, 220 plus. So whatever the bowling attack is, that's what you're going to get on the...
Yeah, you've got to get your head around it. And Chinnaswamy is one of those grounds where if you go at less than 10 and over, you've done well. If you go at less than 9, 9.5, 8, you've done exceptionally well from a bowling point of view. Someone will get met. I mean, there'll be someone tonight will go for 50. Just about guarantee it. Someone will go for 50 if they bowl 4 overs, 50 or more, because that's just the nature of the game. But you've got to get your head around the fact that you will go for runs. How can I minimise the boundaries? How can I bowl so that the batters are hitting one side of the ground perhaps? And that's where all the coaching and the strategy comes into it. And that's why I think when you're at Chinnaswamy, experience is such a key from a bowling point of view. So if you can look at an experienced bowling attack, who has games under the belt, who's been under the pump before, that's what you're looking for. That's what I would be looking for from a bowler. If I'm looking to buy or set up a team to play at the Chinnaswamy, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for fresh blood. Fresh blood gets eaten at Bengaluru. So I'm looking for experienced campaigners who can tough it out, take the hard knocks, and still find a way to bounce back.
Simon, you are fit enough to go and join any team right now because your fitness, I think, has stayed at that level of not gotten better. If you were to go and bowl at the Chinnaswamy, Mike Hesson said, you have to bowl, you should bowl a little back of the length and not bowl too many swinging balls, even like a Siraj kind of altered his way. Is that the way one needs to bowl there? Absolutely.
I think you've got to be back of a length. You've got to make the batters look to hit you down the ground if possible. But you can't stray away from the stump. So I think straightness is your ally. Straightness is your key at Chinnaswamy. Slightly back of a length. It doesn't bounce a lot. It's even bounce without being a really sort of a tennis bally bounce, which I'd imagine Mumbai is more of a tennis bally bounce. So slightly back of a length, but you've got to keep the stumps in play time and time again. You can go to your Yorkers at the back end. 2 bounces is obviously something we'll talk more about through the entirety of this tournament, but those are your options. I don't think you want a swing bowler at Bangalore. I think you're better off not trying to swing the ball, because if this moment you get it up there, batters can just hit you through the line. It becomes a little bit too easy.
And Lisa, something which I've again not understood, especially, I'm speaking so much about the Chinnaswamy because we all know the RCB fandom and everyone wants the answer to this question. But when you have like home advantage, usually you make or doctor pitches according to what your team should be. But with Chinnaswamy and with RCB, you don't know which way to go because you want those hard flat tracks to your batters and not the slow ones, but that doesn't really complement the bowler. So which way should they go?
Yeah, I think they've got to go with the side that they've built is a lot of power at the top. And these guys are hoping to either set a 230 or chase down a 210, maybe a 200. If they can keep the opposition to 200, they'd be happy with that. So it's just one of those grounds that obviously we played the WPL there, and it was literally all of the numbers were as soon as you go even fourth stump line, you were gone to the boundary. And some players, and we know that in the men's and women's game, the off stump is still wide. So you almost have to go middle to leg. So I agree with Simon, it's all about holding the stumps, keeping them in play, because you just never know. Maybe one might sneak through. One may bounce a little bit more. You're just hoping that they miss almost.
Okay, so if you win the toss, what would you do at Chinnaswamy, Simon?
I think you've got to bowl. Chasing's the optimum. If you're RCB, you definitely bowl because they prefer to chase. We know that Virat's numbers in chases are so much better than they are setting, so you don't want to put him under any more pressure than he might feel under after game number one. So I think both sides would absolutely bowl first.
Well, you've said it, Simon, because RCB have won the toss and they've decided to bowl first. If you can have a look at the playing 11, I wouldn't be surprised if they've gone unchanged. So Yash Dayal comes in, who was their impact sub, but Lisa going unchanged after the first game makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. The only thing I thought maybe they could have brought in Topley for Alzari Joseph, someone slightly different, left arm fast bowler. But yeah, agree, when you kind of start a tournament, you're trying to create this culture of confidence. We back you. So you don't want to be chopping and changing the playing 11 or the playing 12, should we say now, too much unless it really warrants it because of playing conditions or matchups.
Yeah, if your side's good enough in game one, it should be good enough in game two and probably game three, even if you've lost. If that's the team you think is your best 11 for a batting point of view or a bowling point of view, it really shouldn't change in game 1, 2, maybe 3 if someone's had 2 really bad games. But you don't want to be unsure of your best 11 when it gets to game number 2, I don't think. So I don't anticipate that, it didn't anticipate any changes.
Well, we'll have a look at Punjab's playing 11 whenever it's ready, but there's a little interesting thing here because Harshal Patel comes in and he plays for Punjab. Lisa, it's always very interesting when you are let go from a team and you're playing against that team. You want to just give that little extra more, right? So you can expect that from Harshal.
Oh yeah, he'll show Bengaluru how to bowl on this surface. He'll make a point, and he's a competitor, right? We've seen that throughout IPL already, that he loves to kind of get into the contest. He's got good change up, so there'll be a little bit more spice in this contest tonight.
A little bit more. I mean, obviously, he had a bad game.
Yes.
Game number 1, it was just that last over, wasn't it? That one really bad over. So he's got so much experience at this ground as well, and I think he will know what's required, what's needed there. I mean, the numbers from Bengaluru for him in the last 3 seasons prior to going up to Punjab. We talked about the economy rate at Bengaluru. I mean, that's pretty good considering he's playing half his games there or last year. So those numbers are pretty good as far as Harshal's concerned. And the other night was just one of those nights where he got met late in the piece. So he'll be back. And this is you always look forward to these battles when guys change teams and come back against players that they've bowled at in the nets all last season or the last couple of seasons. So there'll be a bit about it for him tonight.
But Simon, again, just whenever I have a bowler in the house who's done so much, I like to ask little geeky questions, so pardon me for it. But like a Harshal Patel is someone who is a very intelligent bowler. So sometimes do you think he tries too much because he really likes to keep varying his ball? He doesn't have that one stock ball. So do you think maybe that is a disadvantage for him?
Sometimes it can be. The slower ball that he has that works in a lot of grounds is quite full. It doesn't work at Chinnaswamy. So the slower ball that he has, he's got to drag that length back at Chinnaswamy because, it comes out slowly, it floats, but you don't have to hit it that well to get it over the boundary at Chinnaswamy. So that's something he's going to have to look at. And that's something he's worked on. I mean, watching him at Bangalore in the last few years, or when I've seen him there, he has dragged the length of that slower ball back, and it's a better option. On bigger grounds, you can get it up there because batters can't quite clear the boundary. But there tonight, he's going to have to drag that slower ball back. He's got ability to bowl good Yorkers.
Yes.
He's slippery enough, maybe not quite as much now as he was 2-3 years ago, to still use a bouncer if he has to. But, you've got to keep you've got to have variations there, but don't overdo them. I think that's one of the keys. You know, we talked about it, and Lisa backed up the point about just a good hard length at the top of off stump. It's almost a, you know, you're bored saying it, but a test match length actually works at Chinnaswamy. It's not the easiest to hit.
So, which is why I think Josh Hazelwood, I think Mike hasn't spoken about how he was the one who people didn't like playing at Chinnaswamy. It's probably that length.
Yeah, because he doesn't shy away from it. He just has a little bit of nibble, and that's all he does. He just makes it move off the straight. And we even saw the Fizz.
Yes.
He bowled almost test line and length, didn't he, as well, and nicked a lot of the guys off. So, you know, that's something that Punjab will be thinking about as well, especially to Bengaluru's top order that struggled. But you don't need to be too funky. It's a bit like batters as well. You know, a Glenn Maxwell, for instance. You can have all of the shots, but it's knowing when to bring them out. That's the real skill at this level. So it'll be interesting to see what both sides do, and especially from a bowling point of view, what lengths they're going to hold, and will they use the short ball on Chinnaswamy that tends to fly around?
Well, I don't think bowlers really want to go to the Chinnaswamy. It's always been that if they had a choice, they just send, 11 batters saying, we'll put our legs up today, why don't we have 11 batters going? But talking about batters, Punjab bats first, and for all Punjab fans, they'll just be keeping their fingers crossed that their overseas players click this season, because last season it was just very forgetful. They've started off well in their first game because Sam Curran and Livingston kind of got them past the finish line. But they've not really had that consistency, Simon. So that's something the fans will be hoping for.
No, Livingston's numbers are okay. And you remember that Liam Livingston bats at 5'6" predominantly. This is since the last edition of the tournament. 138 is probably a little lower than where he would want to be, batting at that number, 5 and 6, particularly with an average of 24. Riley Rousseau, not on the side, so, those numbers are poor by his high standards. And Johnny Bairstow, either got to be averaging 40 at 127 or averaging 30 at 147, I think, as an opening batter, particularly, when you get all of those opportunities. I thought Curran was really good the other night. One over only with the ball, but with the bat, when you've got that high quality all-rounder ability, you want him to do something. I thought he was very good with the bat the other night.
Lisa, I read somewhere that Sam Curran and his older brothers, because he's the youngest one, he was never allowed to bat, and that's how the younger siblings are bullied. Right? I'm the younger one, which is why he'd constantly bowl and get better with his bowling. Clearly, now that he's grown up, it's shown in his performance in the last match that he's batting well, and that's something that Punjab will be very happy about.
They're wonderful all-rounders, aren't they? The Currans, like they've got an ability. I think that competitiveness in the backyard has certainly put them in the right frame of mind to start playing competitive cricket, and they've got the skills to be able to back it up. We haven't seen Tom Curran yet in this edition, but we've seen Sam for a few years now, and he has got that ability with the bat. I'd probably just like the consistency with him. True. He tends to kind of have these one-off innings. He did for Chennai as well. So if he can actually call himself a pure all-rounder and almost find himself up the order, he may start to have that consistency that he's searching for as well.
And also they promoted him in the last game. Yeah. So should we be seeing that in the coming games as well?
Well, a lot of times it's that left-right combination that they're looking for. And if a left-arm spinner's in the game, then you want a left-handed batter at the crease. They talk about these matchups all the time. I'm not the biggest fan. I think spinners can bowl to anybody. But the bottom line is the teams look at the boffins, and the boffins say it's a better matchup, so they go with it. And when you want those left-right matchups, it's nice to have the option in the side. So you might see it again. We might not see it if there's some leg spin on, or it's just one of those things. You've got to be a little bit fluid with it. 3 and 4 guys padded up in the dugout at once. I think that's the key. And if he gets out, you're going in. If we bat another 3 overs, you might be going in. You've got to have that with every coaching side, I think, in the modern game, because it's changed, it's evolved, and we're seeing it already in this tournament. Yes, we've seen a couple of half centuries now, but we're seeing sides getting 170s, 180s, and nobody getting past 40, 45.
True.
So batters are just going harder and harder and saying that 37, 38 off 18 is better than 60 off 45. So you've got to be able to just chop and change and be flexible with everything.
Well, Lisa and Simon, I'm being told that I've spoken a lot and we have a whole lot of fan questions coming in. So I think it's a good time to have a look at one of Ask CB's question. So this comes from Karan. Karan says, question to the Cricbuzz panelists. The new rule of bowlers getting to bowl 2 bouncers in an over, do you think it has created a more even contest between bat and ball? This is something which I'm glad we're talking about. Lisa, what do you think?
I certainly have seen if there are players that are not confident with the short ball, a Shivam Dubey, then that's an absolute plan, and it kind of works to limiting the damage initially of what that player can do. I like it because we've seen a lot of things change for the batting group. There hasn't been a lot of options for the bowling group, and it's great from a fast bowling. But when's the next change for the spinner coming in, Julie?
I don't
Come
know.
on, what about the spinners?
So there's one other change I'd like to see. I'll get to it after I make the point about the bouncers. I think what it has done is it's given the bowlers another option. They don't have to use it, but the batters therefore have to think about the fact that there is that option. Once that one bouncer was bowled in the first 3 balls of the over, batters could sit a little bit more on the front foot and not be worried about another bouncer, another short ball. Now the bowlers have an option, so I think you'll see more uncertainty around batters setting up for certain things at the back end of the innings. More so than maybe at the front. Yes, you have the option with a brand new ball, it probably skids through a bit quicker, but at the back end, if you've got slower ball options, you've still got 2 bouncers to bowl, you can use the Yorkers. I think that's when we might see a little bit more of an advantage to it. And the other law I'd love to see changed is as soon as a batter switches, left or right, it's open slather. Wherever the ball pitches, you can be out RBW. If it hits you on the pad.
I like it.
That's the one thing I'd love to see, and that would suit the spinners a lot. And it just means that you can't willy-nilly go to a switch hit and be not out if it hits your pads. I think as soon as the batter changes, whether it's a switch or a full or a reverse sweep, as soon as they change, both sides are open for LBW, and if you get hit on the pad and it's hitting the stumps, you can be out.
This is great.
Well, there you go.
I love it.
That's for the spinners.
Whenever Simon says something on Cricbuzz, it's taken very seriously.
I
won't be surprised if this goes down and people are taking notes. I'm sure this is going to be heard next year, Simon. But just a little more on the 2 bouncer rule. I know Karan's asked the question, but Karan, if I may just ask a little more on the question, if I could, Karan. Thank you for asking that question. But Livingston spoke about this recently. Like Simon was saying, that the batter it's playing in the back of his mind that after after 2 deliveries, if there's a bouncer bowled, it's still playing in the back of his mind. So Livingston said that, this rule is a good rule and it is something that will be playing on my mind when I go to bat. So clearly batters are thinking about it, Lisa, but as a bowler, do you think they're getting carried away too much?
Probably. It's almost like you're going to the whacker and all of a sudden the ball starts flying. You're like, yippee, let's keep going. I think you've got to be smart. And I actually think I agree with you, Simon, about the fact that it could be at the back end. But there's also an element, and I mentioned it as well, like if there's someone that is uncomfortable, you go early with them. And you've got the ability to be able to get a couple in there and you can space it out. I like the fact that we're getting batters to start thinking because they've been standing there.
They've had it too easy.
They have. They've been standing there going, this is a nice even service, way I go.
Another one was Shreyas. I think Pat Cummins came straight into Shreyas Iyer the other night, didn't he? And got a couple of short balls in. So that was another sort of small option of using it for the right area against the right sort of batters who you think might have a little bit of a wariness about that short ball.
Well, Lisa, you spoke about the spinners. The spinner in the house spoke. I want to ask again with RCB, if I could say, RCB fans, please don't troll me, this is just wanting the team to get better. But considering Hasaranga has been let go by them, do you think the spin department has gotten really weak for RCB?
Has it gotten weak? It's probably too early to kind of comment. I think the fact that they're playing on a surface that doesn't allow spinners to really show their skill, you've got to have just the subtle changes. You've got to be able to change your pace, your delivery point, go around, go over, bowl the long ball. Just be a little bit clever from where you actually deliver it. So time will tell whether they've been able to kind of have someone step up into Hasaranga's role.
But Simon, do you think it was a little strange the other day? Yes, we know the matchup. You said you're not a fan of matchups, but considering Mayank was bowling well, and then after 2 overs, he just disappeared.
Yeah, 2 overs for 6, wasn't it? Or something along those lines, and then just didn't bowl again. As soon as Shivam Dube came to the crease, they said, no spin. We're not going to bowl spin. But again, the flip side of that is Shivam Dube knows that. So he knows he's going to get a lot of short pitch bowling. And if he waits and bides his time, he's going to be okay with it. He doesn't have to take every ball on. So I still think there's an option. I say it time and time again, matchups are there to sort of have a little bit of a view on what might happen or what could happen. But a good spinner will be able to bowl to any batter in the world. Great. Do you think Shane Warne said, oh no, I can't bowl left-handers. I'm sorry, please don't, I mean...
Or did he say, I won't bowl to the great Sachin Tendulkar?
No, I know he sweeps me, I don't want to do it.
Ashwin, I mean, any great spinner is going to say, it doesn't matter. I've got the opportunity to beat him on the outside edge or the inside edge, whether it be a left-hander or a right-hander. I can just leave it to me to figure it out. I can set a field accordingly. I just don't like the fact that straight away they say, spinner's out of the game. No, we're no spin at all now because this guy's batting. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And so spinners can go wide of the stumps. They can make the batter drag it. They can loop it a little bit more. You can give it a bit more air. You can slide them into the pads. There's so many options that spinners have got. And to go away from a guy who bowled 2 overs for 6 just because a certain batter came to the crease, I think I said it yesterday that I don't think Faf had his best game as skipper, and you don't say that very often about Faf du Plessis. A big fan of his captaincy. I don't know that he had his best game or whether he was getting the best advice. And sometimes the people on the sideline are running the game too much. You've got blokes who are sitting on a computer. All they've done is play PlayStation since the age of 2 or 3, and they've got a gig. They've got a gig because they're good on a laptop, never played the game, never experienced the game in the middle, but yet they're running the game. It's like the idiots running the asylum. I mean, what's going on?
I love it. I love it when Simon's in this mood. We know what we're in for. Let me quickly remind all the fans and viewers that RCB have won the toss. They're going to be bowling first. Let's have a look at their playing 11 again. And if we can also have a look at the impact subs once this is done. Lisa, surprisingly here, Karan Sharma is in their impact subs. So have you all understood?
Was there DK in the 11?
Can we have a look at the playing 11 again, please?
So they're fielding first, yet DK is in the fielding.
Yeah.
Yes.
11.
That's strange.
And
so
Karan's out.
keeping their options open, I guess, to bring a seamer or a spinner in. Maybe. Maybe that's the case there. What I will be interested, just quickly on the Bengaluru 11 is, you know what you're going to get with Glenn Maxwell. You know what you're going to get. He will go from ball 1. I'd love to see Green above him. For that very reason. I think Cameron Green's a terrific player, but I think he's going to take a little bit more time to get himself settled into this lineup. So I know what Glenn Maxwell's going to do from ball 1. It doesn't matter when he bats. He's going to do the same thing.
Don't you want your best batter or your most dynamic batter to face more deliveries?
Well, I mean, if he was my best batter, I would say yes. He's not my best batter. He is my most powerful hitter. But he's not my best batter. So, and I think if Cameron Green's to have a season that they need him to have, I just want to give him a little bit more opportunity early on. And this might be the sort of surface to be able to do that. That'd be the only thing I would look at.
And he likes playing higher up. He does this time and time again that he likes playing.
Most batters want to go up.
Correct.
Let's be honest.
And Glenn Maxwell doesn't need to bat 3 or 4.
No, he doesn't.
He will do the same thing at 3 as he'll do at 6.
You're right about that.
So that's the only thing I'd like to see change maybe from a Bengaluru point of view when they bat.
Alright, I've asked you all way too many questions, much more than I'm allowed to. But there's a question that Mr. Joy Bhattacharya wants to ask all the Cricbuzz fans. Let's have a look at Joy Factor question of the day. What started with the player of the match effort of 56 runs and 3 wickets by Tom Moody and ended with a match-winning knock of 44 from Umar Akmal? I have no idea.
Long Tom. Geez, that's a long... We're winding back the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a record of some sort because they'd never played
together
or in the same tournament. I wouldn't imagine. No.
Yeah, I mean,
very good.
It will be a record because of just the timelines.
Yeah.
I think that's the only clue we can give you all. You all are much better at answering this. I'm sure there are a lot of answers that have already come in. Let's now quickly do what Mr. Gaurav
Oh,
Kapoor
yes.
has been doing really well.
Yeah.
Simon
Has he been
yesterday I
winning?
heard.
He got 2
Oh,
yesterday.
no, that
And 3 before that.
Jeez.
He's just on a roll.
He is on a roll.
Yeah.
So, Lisa,
Sorry, what are we doing again?
this
How's
is
this-
Team score.
first innings.
team score. Who's batting first? You're right.
Punjab.
2-15.
15. Yeah, Chinnaswamy.
Oh wow! Look, geez, I'd love to go higher. 2-2-3.
215, 223. I am going to go with 203. I'm going to go lower.
Okay.
Because RCB is not batting, I'm going to go lower. Let's wait and see what happens because that's all we have time for right now. Don't forget to join us at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz Combox. We will see you all soon.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें